welcome back to the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. It is Saturday, the 23rd of November, 2019. Today I will be live for 78 minutes. 78 minutes, yeah! That's a long time, that's a fun time. That's 1 minute less than 79 and 1 minute longer than 77 last week. That's how this rolls. The stream gets longer each week by 1 minute. I stream live on YouTube once a week, although that will change very soon. And that's the conversation topic we're going to be chatting about today on the stream. Outdoor life versus indoor life, if you like. And, you know, my streams are here. This is the indoor stream, if you like, but we're going to be doing outdoor IRL style streams at some point. And I just want to, get the feelers out there. What do you guys feel about outdoors versus indoors? What would you rather see? What kind of content would you rather see? What kind of things would you rather do? Would you rather be indoors or would you rather be outdoors? That's the kind of feel we're going to go for here on this stream. I want to acknowledge my chit chat. First of all, right up the top, if we go back up, Tim always does this. He gets in super early. I'm not sure what time you pop those in this time, Tim, but they're up there still. He says, will this comment stay or will it go now? That's the question. Will it stay or will it go now? It is too early to last. Is it too early to last for the entire show? Will it be seen as fun or will it cause trouble? Tim, it doesn't cause trouble. It's just interesting. I don't know why. I don't know why they remove those comments. Why would YouTube remove a comment because it happened too early for the stream? I never understood that. Tim says, I'm so tired. I'm seeing double. Do I stay or do I go? I really just don't know. Okay, I'm seeing double. He's quoting lyrics there, The Clash. Dearly Crystal Gaming's in the chit chat. Good morning, the internet. Love heart. And I said, yo, Tim, I reckon these comments will go, but I was wrong. Wrong. That was completely wrong. Morning, Dear Lee. Then me and Dear Lee had a bit of a chit chat. How's it going down in Victoria where she is? And it's cold and cloudy here. Something landed on my forehead. That's a floating hair just went straight into my forehead. 13 where DLE is. That's cold, DLE. I hope you're rugged up. I mean, what have we got? 7 more days until summer begins, and you're at 13 degrees? That's crazy talk. Hey Siri, what's 13 Celsius in Fahrenheit? Just a sec. 55. You know how to get all the way to 55? I will tell you what it was. So yeah, that's pretty cold. That's pretty cold considering we're close to summer here. Things can change though, and it's lousy here. It's cloudy, it's cold, it's kind of murky. There's big clouds in the sky. I want to go for a surf, but it looks lousy. Maybe I'll go later on if the conditions change. DLE went with some Halloween content, some ghosts, and I said Halloween is over, but it was fun on DLive, right? It was definitely fun. I love DLive. I enjoy the place. It's fun. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit. We're not going to touch too deeply on these new changes that YouTube have rolled out over the last week and a bit. Safe to say, the content that I want to deliver here on this stream, I've had to sort of dance around the issue, if you like, and you'll see what I mean. I really wanted to play you a song here on this stream, but I can't. I cannot play that song because that song will be flagged immediately. And then all of the small amount of monetization I receive from this channel will go straight to this recording label. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to read you the song, which is stupid, right? But that's the way we can get around it. And that's because these changes have come in. Arguably, this is not one of the big changes, but this is a subtle change that's come through where you can't even really engage content in a transformative manner anymore and be allowed to do it with the, what do you call it, the right of freedom of speech and free press. It doesn't seem to exist anymore. In fact, it seems like now you've got to fight to recover that back when someone takes it from you. So you don't actually have it to begin with. You think you've got it. You go ahead and you make a transformative news piece about something using content that exists, and bang, you get hit with a copyright flag, and suddenly to get back to where you already were, you've got to fight this fraudulent copyright flag just to get back to the first part. It shouldn't be that way. They should have to fight you to get you to that copyright. I digress. That's not the topic of conversation for the stream today, but it does come into play on this indoor-outdoor conversation, which we will get to. And I said, yeah, we'll touch on that briefly on this stream. So we'll hit into that in a little while longer. DLE says, I don't like the changes though, and me too. Let me be clear, I don't like the changes, but also, let me be super clear, I will stay here, I will deliver content here on YouTube. It's not going away. But I'm seeing the validity of other platforms such as DLive. DLive has been smashing it out of the park lately, and there's only bigger things coming. Did I mention I've got a DLive channel? It's in the chit chat linky poo right there if you want to go and have a look at it. Give me the support if you want to. We just hit 1,100 follows on DLive. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'll give myself a cheers for that. Does everyone get a cheers? No, everyone gets a cheers for that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty stoked. And DLE says, I still like watching people on YouTube as well, so I don't know what to do. Yeah, and I said, well, you don't have to do anything really. If you're just consuming the content on YouTube, you don't have to make any changes. You can still go across and you can still watch YouTube and you can still partake in what you've done. As a creator though, a lot more creators are going, this is getting really, really tough here, isn't it? Do I want to partake in this or do I want to just shift off somewhere else? And a lot of them are shifting off elsewhere. I mean... We've had Tfue in my channel, and last night, we had Leafy is Here. Now I got to hand it to Leafy is Here. Leafy is Here came across to my YouTube, to my DLive stream, and I asked him up front. We got a bit of a chit chat going, and I said, just a second, man, hold on. Are you the actual Leafy is Here? You that guy? I mean, this guy was massive on YouTube. Arguably about 5-6 years ago, and he kind of tailored off, disappeared, just did like a Harry Houdini and just sort of disappeared. Then he came back in drips and drabs in the last maybe 2 years, and now he says he's on DLive. And I asked him up front, dude, and that's the way I've always been, right? Completely down the line. No, there's no ambiguity on the gives a minute anything. If I need to know something, I'm going to ask you. So I said to him, dude, we could chit chat in the chat about this forever, but I'm going to ask you straight up, are you Leafy is Here? The Leafy is Here? And he plainly said yes. And then we had confirmation from another streamer, Cincy, who was we know Cincy, not personally, but we know him from watching his streams. He said, man, you never know who's watching your streams. So that, in my mind, that confirmed that was Leafy is Here in my chat. But then, this is why it sort of... I was trying to like allude to the fact that a lot of YouTube creators are coming across to DLive to check it out, and we think we had Leafy is Here, and for all intents and purposes, for all intensive purposes, for all camping intents and purposes, it was him. But then we had Tfue come across as well, and he was saying, and by the way, Tfue was there the other day, the official Tfue, and then we had Tfue last night, which to me says this is just a sham, right? This is a kid with these handles. But I asked him up front, this is last night, I said, dude, are you Tfue? Are you Jack Tenney, aka Juke Squad, the content creator on YouTube from Florida, his brother?
Steak?
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Mayonnaise, wow.
Mayonnaise, wow! Thanks, Adrian Banks, for the donation. You scared the shit out of me. Appreciate you, man. First thing I hear is Homer, steak? Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate you. Love you. Appreciate you. So we asked him up front, are you this person? And he didn't. I said yes or no. No, don't put anything else in the chat. Just yes or no. And if you are no, then get the hell out of my stream. If you are yes, congrats. Welcome to the Gives a Minute DLive stream. How do you find DLive? But he could never answer, whereas Leafy is Here did answer. Now, I'm getting around this topic of a lot of creators are bumping across to other platforms such as DLive. We think we've seen Leafy is Here. We think we've seen Tfue. We don't know for a fact. Apparently, PewDiePie's been dropping into random streams as well. And I'm not saying he's been in my stream, but we've heard conversation of PewDiePie bumping into streams and dropping ninjets and whatnot. So we already knew he's on there, right? He was snared initially as the big sell, but whether he's watching content, another story. I've never seen him. So yeah, a lot of people don't like the changes, I gotta be honest. DLE Chris, I don't think there's anything to worry about because I'm 14. Yeah, so DLE is really more talking about the changes that come to the child-friendly channels when you're aiming content at 13 and under. Now, they're big changes, and look, I don't really have any great knowledge of it. All I know is that there's been a toggle switch that each creator has to select yes or no. It's channel-wide, so if you select no, my content is not aimed at children, you hit no, that means all of your content from here and pre-existing and forthcoming is not aimed at children, and therefore you're good to continue as you were. But if you hit yes to that toggle switch, every single video you've put up on your channel previously and going forward, comments are disabled. Did you hear me that? Did you hear what I said? Comments are disabled. So therefore, this is no longer a two-way street if your content is aimed at children. There is no longer a two-way street. It's a one-way street, and that sucks on YouTube, because YouTube should never be a one-way street. It should always be about your audience, the givers in my case, coming to me giving the content to the givers and having this direct flow of information, this direct conversation. That's what YouTube is, was, and has been. But if you're aiming your content at children, no longer. And you know why? It's because of these dicks. Can I say that on YouTube? Yeah, I can. It's my channel. I'm far enough into the stream to use a few curse words. Fuck, dick, piss, shit. There they go. All out in one go. So I'm done with the cursing. Those people, these dubious characters of our society, have changed it so that we can't communicate now. Pretty shit. Oh, there's another swear word. Pretty crap, right? So yeah, and that's what DLE's saying. DLE is now 14, not 13. So it doesn't so much affect DLE, but it does if you're creating content for DLE. Now, I know we're streaming here and DLE's watching, but this content is not aimed at children. So I've selected no, and that all of my content is not aimed at children. Looking further down the chit chat. Travel Jet Setter's in the house. Whoop, 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 whoop. Travel Jet Setter. Hope everything is well. Travel Jet Setter said, yeah, there's more rules now that will put into place. Other YouTube creators can't do other videos on other YouTube content creators. So that's the thing. Like people like large channels such as Drama Alert, right? They're going to find it very difficult to make content using any content from anybody else, because the moment you start doing that, you open the floodgates for that content creator to say, that's mine, and I don't care that it's fair use. That's mine. I'll take the revenue. And the amount of time it takes for you to faff around and fight that back to bring it back to where it was with fair speech, fair use, and free speech, all that time faffing around, they're taking it. And YouTube don't reimburse you with that. Once it's over here, it's gone. Very dubious. Very, very dubious. It has been that way the whole time, though. I'm not saying that's a new change. What I'm saying is it's now more rife. So I really wanted to talk today about the Cybertruck announcement from Elon Musk, from Tesla, right? You saw we watched it last night on DLive. We watched the announcement. We watched the TechCrunch announcement in 5 minutes. If I did that here on YouTube, categorically that would be claimed. No doubt about it. So I can only talk about this to you. I can't show you. I can't go ahead and open up a window and play the Tesla live stream and say, sit back and comment, oh, look, this thing looks amazing. Who would make a truck like this? What an insane idea. It looks like the car that Homer designed when he was working with his brother-in-law at the bloody, what was his name? Unky Herb, right? The car that Homer designed that ruined everything. It kind of looks like that. It's pretty silly. It's amazing. It's a strange thing. I can't share it with you, though. I get dinged. And who am I going to fight? Who am I going to fight? Freaking Tesla? No, I'm not going to fight Tesla. They'll just claim it. You know what I'm saying? What a strange world we live in. But on DLive, go across there and we can consume all that content, talk about it, as long as we're doing it in a transformative manner. And let me be clear. I'd never just hit play on a video and walk out of the room and say, watch the Tesla stream. That's not content. That's Lollysocks content. That's not my content. I'm going to talk about it, engage it, have the conversation with you in the chit chat and get something from it. But we can't do that on YouTube any longer. So that's why I'm going to direct you once again to my DLive channel. It's in the chit chat. If you do like this kind of content and you want to see the unedited, if you like the open content, DLive's where to do it at. Yeah, it's pretty dubious. So many restrictions, it makes it super hard, I said. Okay, then I gave my 10-minute beauty call. I say 10 minutes before the stream begins, I'm going to duck into makeup, put my hair on, put my shirt on, rocking the collared shirt here, the dress shirt. DLE says to see you in 10. Tim says, I don't know if I should get out of bed, but I don't know if I'll fall asleep again as I'm just too comfortable. Well, get out of bed, Tim. It's a Saturday morning. Get yourself a coffee. I meant to get up earlier, but I fell asleep watching YouTube vids. I'm surprised I woke up again now. I didn't see. I'm the same, man. My daily vlogs are at an unusual hour, and I'm very tired. Like this morning, I woke up and I was like, I'm not really ready for this. I'm not really ready for the YouTube stream. I'm tired. But hey, this is the part of the what's the this is the part of the muesli bar that I bit off into, right? Now I'm going to chew it, swallow it, and then continue to eat. What a strange metaphor. DLE, North Ramp MJ's in the chat, Mindy! Or Mindy came in earlier, but I'm going to give you a cheers anyway. That's a thing we do on D-Live. That's when I'm supposed to get up, but I fell asleep again. How's your week been? Easy. Arrow Gamer in the chit chat. Arrow Gamer, welcome to the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. How do you do, Arrow? Good to have you here. I'm going to give you a cheers, my friend. How is it? Now, you're in Tasmania or Melbourne? Tasmania or some lower Victoria, right? I don't know. Uncle Tim, you're up early. Adrian Banks with the Mayunas. Wow. Happy Lux in the chit chat. Happy Lux. How do you do? She said it wrong, Adrian Banks. Yeah, she said mayonnaise. No, she said mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. What the hell's mayonnaise? We all know it's mayonnaise. Wow! We all know what it is, right? Mayonnaise. Nate's Escape. What's up, Nate's Escape? Haven't seen you for a while, my friend. How you do there in Nelson, New Zealand? You still over there in Nelson? Good to have you, my friend. And DLE and Crystal, Tim, Adrian Banks, you're turning into Blink-182 family reunion with your language. Oh, the cursing. Okay. I gotcha. They make a four-wheeler. So Mindy's talking about the announcement from Tesla last night, yesterday. Let's bring the chit-chat up on the screen so you guys can follow along. But yeah, the announcement from Tesla included a, what do they call it? What do they call those things? A little I don't know what they're called. An all-terrain vehicle, an ATV, that's it. All-terrain vehicle. Aero Gamer in Melbourne. Gotcha. Okay, my bad. I thought you were Tasmania. So yeah, this announcement from Tesla was pretty amazing. I've got to say though, Elon Musk is a terrible keynote presenter. He stumbles his words. He doesn't present well. He looked scared. He looked nervous. He looked like his auto cue wasn't working correctly multiple times. It's very strange because he's got such a solid brain pattern. Like his brain works so well, and he obviously has a great rapport with his colleagues, his work staff, and to create this stuff to begin with. But when he's in a room full of people that are basically worshipping him, he really stumbled. And I thought that presentation was very, very poor. So much so that I thought next time he probably shouldn't even do it. He should co-host, let someone else do the talking, and he should just be on the stage kind of doing his thing and then adding little bits and pieces when needed or when prompted. But interestingly, did you see when they threw, and if you didn't see it, I can't play it, but you can watch it on your own leisure time. But when they threw the ball at the glass window, talking about how strong this glass is. First of all, they they sledgehammered against the side of this new vehicle. They got this, I don't know who the guy was, some celebrity. I'm not sure who celebrities are, but this gentleman came out and whacked. First of all, they had a regular truck, I think it was a Ford F100, F-150 or something. They had that door of that truck on a stand, and this dude went at it with a sledgehammer and smashed it a couple of times and put a fairly big chunk in the side, like a dent in it. And then Elon said, now come across to the Cybertruck and take your best hit. And so this dude winds it up and hammers this thing into the door. Nothing happens, not even a scratch. In fact, he gets his shirt out and rubs it and looks at it, and it's clean as. So he hits it again, nothing happens. So Elon's demonstrating how strong this stainless steel is. And if you've got a truck made of that, basically you could run into a pole and the pole would fall over, but your truck would be fine. So then he was saying how strong the glass is, because that's the weak point, right, of the whole structure. And so he demonstrated by dropping a big cylindrical ball bearing from a height on regular glass, shattered the crap out of it. Then he brings in the Tesla glass, drops this ball, nothing, just bounces. They take it up higher, get a bigger ball, drop it, nothing. Take it up even higher, drop it, bang, nothing. So then he says to the gentleman again with the sledgehammer, take the ball and chuck it at the window. And the gentleman did, and he actually smashed it. And Elon Musk was like, he actually swore. You hear him on the live stream say, "Oh fuck, you didn't go all the way through," but you could see he was flustered. It wasn't meant to happen, but yeah. And then he did it again. And Mindy says stage fright. Yeah. Some intelligent people can't put words together to speak publicly. Yeah, I mean, I know. Watching my drop frame, we'll just have to, and you firmly believe. And I'm also separate Wi-Fi. which potentially that and so confusing. My connection rough passage on the live stream. So I'm just going to kind of sit back and enjoy the buffering, enjoy the content, the buffering content, and we'll hopefully be back. I don't know. What can I do here? What can I do? Wirecast, you've implemented. How about this? They implemented the Stream Deck into their software, and it is so buggy. This is what I did. I set up a secondary profile because I knew this would happen. I copied my initial, and by the way, we're seeing good now. I copied my initial profile from Stream Deck to a secondary one called Test, Wirecast Test. And I went ahead and changed everything to use the Stream Deck natively in Wirecast because they've recently updated it. I made a daily vlog about it. And you would not believe how much the thing struggles. Wirecast, as soon as you turn the Stream Deck on, Wirecast just goes jiggly, jaggedy, jiggity, jaggedy. And this is a Retina iMac here with 32 gig of RAM. And this thing is just... So I just said, you know what? Delete that profile, go back to how I was doing it before, and just persist. Now, there was a giver over on the DLive who suggested if you can't stream from OBS to YouTube, but you can stream from OBS to DLive, why don't you use Restream.io, which is, and if you're not sure what Restream is, it's a little platform that piece of software that sits in between streams. So most creators use it in the sense that they can bump their stream to multiple platforms in one go. So you're streaming from whatever the program is. In my case, it'd be OBS. You go from here into Restream.io, and then you bump it out to, say, Twitch, Mixer, Facebook, YouTube, and DLive all at the same time. Now, I would never do that. I would never do that with my content because this is my YouTube stream. It's very different to my DLive streams, as we've already discussed. But what I could do, go from OBS to Restream.io to YouTube, just to one. And that would mean that Restream.io does all the encoding issues and bumps it into YouTube. Now I think maybe that might be a way to do it. I don't know. I want to check that because I don't want to use Wirecast. OBS works perfectly. I don't want to use Wirecast. It's buggy. It's crap. In an ideal world, we'd do that. So let's check the chit chat. Stupid buffering. You're back. Yeah. OS thought it's just me, Mindy. I've got 2 YouTubes running at present. Adrian, I will. When I'm watching my stream here with the green or the red or the yellow, but and you can't see this because it's like it's right next to the lens, but you can't see it. But there's a green connection status, and the connection is locked on green right now. But when it goes to yellow, it sort of says, "Hey man, things aren't happening so well." When it goes to red, "Hey man, things are really not happening." When it goes to red with a little line through the circle, it's off. And I've seen that when Mindy said buffering, I was watching it go from green to yellow to red flashing to red with a line, back to yellow, back to red with a line, back to yellow, back to red. I don't know what it is, but now we're back. So it wasn't you, Adrian, it was me. I apologize. So folks, let's take a small break here. Let's take some outdoor activities, if you like. I'm going to transition to this outdoor activity. You know, where every week I bring out a band that somehow relates to me and we talk about them on the DLive. Well, while I'm not surfing, I roll that content here on the YouTube machine as well. So this is a band called Gilgamesh. Welcome back to the Slightly Random Daily Song! Oh wow, that's too high. That's a high note. This will begin a 4-part, maybe 5-part series on a band named Gilgamesh. Now, what was Gilgamesh? Aside from a mythological god who did something, I don't know what Gilgamesh was or did or who. Oh no, wasn't it an elephant? It was a big elephant that just charged and smashed everything, right? A big bulging elephant, that's right, Gilgamesh. That's nothing to do with this Gilgamesh. This Gilgamesh was a ska/punk band from the Shire, where I was born and bred. The Shire is an area of New South Wales, an area of the greater metropolitan Sydney. It's about 12 k's south of Sydney, on the coast, encompassing a whole bunch of different little suburbs, known as the Sutherland Shire, but colloquially known as the Shire. Now, this was long before those movies came out and made the Shire a thing. We've known it as the Shire as long as I've been alive. That's aside from the point. There was a venue in the Shire called the Caringbah Bizzos, the Caringbah Businessmen's Club, known as the Bizzos, right? The Bizzos. And me and my cousin and all of our friends used to go there and watch live music nearly every weekend. That was just our rite of passage. It doesn't matter who's playing. Friday night, Saturday night, we'd go to the Bizzos or other venues, mainly the Bizzos. One time there was a band performing and the guys in the band came up and had a chat to us. The drummer, a guy called Graham, and the guitarist, vocalist Bob, came up and were chatting and this and that, and we kind of, you know, we became friends, I suppose, and they gave me and Gav their demo cassette. So a 2-song demo cassette, which I have, but that's not what I want to play you here today. I want to play you, well, I'll show it to you. This comes many years later, right? So we became friends, we kicked around a lot together. Me and Bob became quite good friends, actually. And I remember him teaching me some guitar back in the day. But this here is Neoteny, which is a compilation from a record label called Spent Unit. You see that there? I don't know if you can get a focus on that. Spent Unit. Now this compilation features 4 bands kicking around the time. First band on the bill was Frenzal Rhomb, Downtime, Gilgamesh, and Blitz Babies. So 4 bands with 2 songs apiece. And by the way, the word Neoteny, I believe that means it's something to do with like animals that keep their childlike mannerisms or their childlike form as a grown animal, like as a full-blown adult animal. And I guess all these bands would argue that they do have that. Frenzal Rhomb are still that way to this day. Gilgamesh did like a reformation back in 2003. I got some video footage of that. But this is from back in 1994. Let's open this sucker. You know what? Let's sit down. Let's open this sucker. There you go, folks. All songs recorded at Zen Studios in 1994, so I got the date correct. There is not much in this disc in terms of artwork, but I want to show it to you just for the sake of showcasing it. Sweet bugger all in there. Some funky art that's been repeated twice by the look of it. The disc artwork looks pretty cool. So what I'm going to play for you off the 2 tracks from Gilgamesh here, I'm going to play you Dan the Man. Now, Dan the Man is Gilgamesh's kind of, it's their sweet fuck you, if you like, to, I don't even know what you'd call them these days. It's like macho men, like gym fanatics that go to the gym and all they want to do is pump weights and like tune chicks, and they don't mention driving sports cars, but that was what they were doing as well. I mean, I got nothing against those dudes that want to pump weights and tune chicks. I mean, that's just making yourself look better and feel better to attract the other sex. Either way, Gilgamesh were an angry bunch of young men, and this track is probably one of their highlights from their live sets, Dan the Man. Notable lyric in this song, I'm Dan the Man, I work out in the gym, in intelligence scales, I'm fucking dim. I like it. I'm gonna pop you guys down here to view some scenery while we play the track. Pop you guys down like that. What do you say? That's a nice vista, right? You get to look all the way down there and see beautifulness. Well, whilst you enjoy the beautifulness, enjoy Dan the Man from Gilgamesh from the Neoteny Spent Music Free Sampler CD from 1994.
Let's go.
Come on, what's a margarita? The bundle of joy.
go, folks. Gilgamesh, right? From the Neoteny, which is the spent... I said spent unit free. It's actually spent. The record label was called Spent, and this thing was a free unit. That's why it says Neoteny Spent Unit Free. That was the track Dan the Man. Now, I said earlier in the piece here that I would potentially make this into a 4 or 5 part series. That's because I obviously have all the releases of Gilgamesh, the commercial releases. They had 2 studio albums that were available commercially. I've also obviously got the demo cassette, the 2-track demo cassette. Then I've also got the actual Gilgamesh demo cassette, the one that they kind of hand, you know, the first 2-track one was just like a handwritten thing in pen, but then the next one was an actual release, handed out to friends and whatnot. I've got that. I've also got the albums, and I've also got some live film of Gilgamesh from back in the day and from the reunion. So this could be a bit of a saga. Now look, while I sit down and think about what track to bring out next from Gilgamesh, you guys can go back to the live stream. Neoteny. Gilgamesh. 1994. Holy moly. Dedicated to R.A. Forrester, 1913 to 1994. I wonder who R.A. Forrester is. Gilgamesh, Dan the Man. Oh shit! I was live. Got caught up in my own little memory bank there. 1994. Watching the chit chat, it's weird to think that that's 25 years ago. I know. Isn't that strange? Like, what's even weirder about that in my mind is that I've got all that stuff captured. Like, I was filming all that shit back then, so all that stuff's eventually going to come out. Well, maybe not all that stuff, but a lot of that stuff will come out. I mean, Gilgamesh, right? I mean, look, on this compilation, Frenzal Rhomb. I shot Frenzal Rhomb 2 months ago at a festival. They're still performing 25 years later. Unbelievable. Back in the chat, Mindy said she's buffering. Mindy, I had no problems here, so that's got to be localized at your end at that point. Adrian Banks says he's got 2 YouTubes up, and he's got me on one and Rob Thomas on the other. Not sure who Rob Thomas is, but I appreciate me being on one. Tim says, sure is strange to think that that's 25 years ago, Adrian. It's weirder when you think back to what you were doing back then also. Plus, some viewers here aren't even born then. Yep, that's true. BC Razor in the chit chat. BC Razor, how do you do, my friend? Welcome to the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. Nice, reminds me a little of Offspring, Ignition era. Okay, yeah. Apart from the lighter bits. Yeah, okay. Pop Quiz says, Mindy, what was everyone doing 25 years ago? Tim says, learning about postnatal depression and raising a rugrat. Mindy was training horses. Adrian Banks, 1994, he went to a holiday to Germany. 1994, I would have been kicking around the Shire, going and seeing gigs, skateboarding, running amok. I left, no, wait a sec, 94. Shit, no, I left. Oh, yeah. That was my first year out of high school. Yeah, that's true. My first year into the workforce. That's right. So I would have been dating Jackie. What was Jackie's last name? Siddons. Jackie Siddons. Got it. Jackie Siddons, yeah. I was dating her and running amok. But that's not what we're here to talk about today, folks. I want to talk about the outdoors versus the indoors. Now, initially, and this chugs back to our conversation earlier about how YouTube is clamping down and changing things, I initially really wanted to play you a track by the Lemonheads called The Outdoor Type. Now, do you know this song, The Outdoor Type by the Lemonheads? It's a great little, I think it's about a 2-minute sort of acoustic pop song talking about how this gentleman lied to a woman about being the outdoor type, right? Like he kind of, it's just a silly sort of, it's a nothing song, but it just has a nice flow to it, and it talks about some things about being outdoors that I thought was kind of comical, and it would have been a lovely little segue into this. I can't play it for you, but I can read you the lyrics. So here they are. The lyrics go, always had a roof above me, always paid the rent, and I've never set foot inside a tent. I couldn't build a fire to save my life. I lied about being the outdoor type. I never slept out underneath the stars. The closest I came to that was one time my car broke down in the suburbs at night. I lied about being the outdoor type. Too scared to let you know. You knew what you were looking for. I lied until I fit the bill. God bless the great indoors. I lied about being the outdoor type. I've never owned a sleeping bag, let alone a mountain bike. I can't go away with you on a rock climbing weekend. What if something's on TV and it's never shown again? It's just as well I'm not invited. I'm afraid of heights, and I lied about being the outdoor type. I never learned to swim, can't grow a beard or even fight. I lied about being the outdoor type. Now, to me, that song is beautifully constructed, beautifully written, a beautiful little pop song, bit of a laugh, bit of a goof, bit of a gaff. Me, I love the outdoors. Apparently, Evan Dando doesn't like the outdoors. Little side note here, a little side spiral, if you like. The Lemonheads was a very large pop band, if you like, pop rock band from back in the day. And about 3 years ago, when I was working as a photographer at the State Library of New South Wales, well, we got a new colleague come and join the team. Oh, g'day, Benon. Please meet Nick. Oh, g'day, Nick. How you going? Shake his hand. Looking at him like, huh. Why do I recognize this guy? Okay, forget about it. Nice to see you, Nick. He's working in the audio restoration part of the library. I was working in the photography side, so we were documenting all the library's artifacts, photography-wise. He was doing the same with audio reconstruction. I was like, oh, he's working in the audio section. Interesting. And Nick. So I went and had a look at the internal emails, and his name, Nick Dalton. I was like, what, Nick Dalton? I quickly got online, did a quick search. I'm like, Nick Dalton, yeah, that's the guy. He played bass in the... Permission to swear again? He played bass in the fucking Lemonheads. Nick Dalton. And there he is working in the library with me. And this gentleman so the Lemonheads was an American band, but they toured a lot, and they brought different members on from time to time, and Nick Dalton was a touring member with them for quite some time, even though he's Sydney based. He also ran a record label called Half a Cow in Australia here, and he's been in a handful of bands, right? But when I found that out, I was like, I didn't want to be a tool to him, but I was like, oh man, I went back and said, sounded silly. I was like, I know who you are. I know who you are. And I was like, I know who you are. And by the way, I've seen you play a bunch back in the day, and I went in they had a Half a Cow record store as well as the label. It's like I went in and I spent a lot of money in my youth on your products, and what a crazy world we live in, right? But that's a side spiral. So that was the Lemonheads. That's what I wanted to play for you, but we can't play that. I can't play you that song. Arguably, I can't even do what I did. I can't even read you the lyrics because they are copyrighted to someone, but the way I read them was not quite the cadence of the song, so it's not going to be flagged with anything, I think. I don't know. Okay, so Mindy says, I had a guy lie about that too. Really, Mindy? You had a guy lie about being the outdoor type? Wow, okay. And Tim says, there's advantages with horses compared to kids. You can legally shoot them, and people don't look at you suspiciously leading horses around in leather harnesses. But they do use leashes for kids now. They do, don't they? Yeah, I've seen like, not generalizing, but I've seen Asian people with their kids on a long extendable leash, letting them go and then just kind of like reeling them back in. Pretty dubious. I should upload my German holidays onto YouTube for posterity. Adrian Banks, you definitely should. Now, I was just about to go back onto this screen, and what happened? My secondary monitor said, connect to the Mac or PC. I didn't disconnect it. Man, this is one thing that's very frustrating about this. Oh, no. Did we lose it? No, we're good. I've seen this throw the stream into a hissy fit when I've reconnected my duet, and I can't get to it now. Oh, shit. Wait, let's wait for it. Okay, it worked. Fingers crossed it did work, because I've seen that throw up all kinds of manner of errors when that happens. For some reason, it just disconnected. I didn't do anything. It's back now. Jackie. Can you imagine that? My girlfriend back in 94 was Jackie. I never put those two together. Jackie. Let's go and drink some Jack with Jackie. Fun times. Let's have a look. So you might have seen my full vlog from last night. I went and did some camping, streaming from Steve Van. I was going to go and try to do some streaming, right? It didn't quite work because there was no 4G connection, but I made a vlog. It was kind of rad to be in the outdoors. Got me thinking about, what would you guys like to see? Would you rather see this kind of content, or would you rather see me shooting a vlog? If I can't make live stream content from an area where there's no 4G tower, would you rather see a vlog like that from last night, or would you rather see more content like this, because in my mind, I really want to get out there and shoot live content from the road and in different areas, but we're very reliant on where those towers are. Now, I was watching and looking the whole journey for my signal to see how it maintained it. Unfortunately, in this campground, Stewart's Crossing, there was none. There was no signal at all. So, but I'll tell you what there was there. Some amazing frogs. Now, I want to read you something first. This is a news article I found. This is talking about the same frog that I found in this area. It's called a laughing frog or a cackling frog. The technical name is a Peroni's tree frog. But this news article from the Daily Telegraph talks about these frogs in the suburbs, right? Now, if they're in the suburbs, you're going to have a scary night. I can tell you now. Frisky frogs with a love call like a jackhammer keep the neighbors up all night long. So these frogs are having sex in the suburbs, and their call sounds like I don't think it sounds like a jackhammer. I think it sounds freaking beautiful, but they're saying a jackhammer. Floyd Brumley, g'day Benon, outdoors all the way unless it's cold. Thanks, man. Good to see you, Floyd. Yeah, I agree. Outdoors all the way. I completely concur. So this article talks about how insane this sound is. The midnight mating call of the Perrone's tree frog, I thought it was Peroni, that's the beer, Perrone's tree frog, sounds like a jackhammer mixed with a cackle. And it's not only drawing attention from its target audience, blah, 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 blah. They're basically saying if you live in the suburbs and you've got these frogs around you, this is what it looks like. You're gonna have a rough time. Now, what I want to show you here, folks, and this is a downpipe where the frogs can live. What I want to show you here is I made a recording. Let's pull this up. I made a sound recording of what these frogs sound like. I'd like to play that for you now here on the Gives a Minute YouTube stream, and then I want to offer you something. But this is a little, 5 minutes long? So this will give you an indication of what this sound is. And I know we've done this on the DLive, but I'm doing this here for those crew that don't go to my DLive channel, such as Tim and Floyd. So this is for you guys, and I've also got a little thing for Mindy here at the end. So this is what it sounds like from these frogs. Let's have a quick listen.
I am standing on the easternmost point at Stewart's Crossing in Chalyong. Stewart's Crossing. And as you can hear, there is an abundance of frogs, cackling frogs, and there's a mountain tree frog doing its thing to the left of me. I'm going to turn my phone around,
it gets lower,
pop it on the ground, and just enjoy this freaking cacophony of sounds. Laughing frogs, mountain tree frogs, regulation common brown frogs. This is awesome. Let's just sit back and enjoy this shizzle. I'm going to pop you down now, pop you on the sand here, and I'm going to shut my freaking mouth.
Benny's in the chat. G'day, Benny.
Here.
How do you do,
Let's
man?
just shut up for a while.
Just sit back and enjoy.
Of course, the second I shut up, the second I start talking, this frog starts. Hey,
do you get that? Always the way.
What's that sound? Keep it down. What's that noise? Keep it
Get
down.
your freaking pencils ready, folks, and shush. Such a beautiful sound. I love it. David. G'day, David. Welcome to the stream. I got a little gift for you, man, in a moment. Good to have you here, though. I got a little gift for you. For everybody. That's ASMR, Faffy Day. Yeah. I got a gift for everybody. Stay put, stay cheers. Stay cheers. Laughing frog. Mountain frog.
Now, you can hear why that frog's called a laughing frog, right? Or a cackling frog. I'm going to move closer to the water. I think that we can get even better sound if I put my phone almost on the water's edge. So, that's the water edge. I'm going to put my phone pretty much almost on top of the water. Something crawling on my hand. It's not a snake. Here we go. Okay, shut up.
This is where it gets good. Laughing frog, mountain tree frog, laughing frog. Wait. Laughing frog on the screen. Mountain tree frog. Oh, Hear the bonk. Pebbly bonk. Bonk. Hear that little bonk? Pebbly bonk. Big fat frog like this. Bonk. Hear it? So sick. It's under the water, that frog. Bonk. Not under the water. Submersed. Bonk. Yeah. There it is. Bonk. And in the distance, you can hear the common brown froglets. They're just the ones that are going. Ret, 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 ret. They're everywhere. Out here in the suburbs, everywhere. You love that bonk? Yeah, Mindy. Sounds a bit like a kookaburra. Yeah, Benny. It kind of does. These... Oh. Shush. Keep it down.
OMG. Wow. These guys are amazing. How about these frogs? And you hear off to the, off to your right, I guess, a pobbly bonk. Pebbly bonk? The one that goes bonk. It's like these cackling frogs. Those guys are repeatedly doing their thing. And then you've got the mountain tree frog doing the... And then you've got, on the far right-hand side, the one going bonk. Bonk. That's a pebbly bonk. Man, this is amazing. I hope the iPhone 7 Plus microphone is capturing this in all its freaking beauty. It's such a strange sound, isn't it? There's like nothing like this on Earth. This reminds me of South Australia, because these cackling frogs, we had them in Aldgate up in the hills, and used to hear them in the suburbs at night. Not many of them. Like there must be at least. I'm hearing 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4 in this very close vicinity, and then further down there must be more. But anyway, that's enough. I'm just blown away by this beautiful sound, and I love frogs.
There you go, folks. I do love frogs. I hope you enjoyed that little recording. Now, what I've got for you all, Mindy did say that this would be a great piece of audio to have as a loop extended. So what I've done is I've taken a section of it, I think it's about must be about a 3.5 minute section. I've EQ'd it correctly. I've reduced some of there's a little bit of hiss there from the iPhone 7 Plus, not much, a little bit of top end. I've just reduced that. I've then looped that into a 30-minute file, and I've upped the gain so it's nice and loud, and I've popped that in the chat right now. If you want to go and download that link will be valid, I guess, for about 3 days. It's on a free hosting service. If you happen to be watching this stream after the fact, like well and truly after 3 days time, that link will definitely be gone. But please leave a comment in the comments field, and I'll refresh the link with a fresh one and give it to you. Because I think this is a beautiful, beautiful sound, and Mindy suggested it'd be great if I did that, and I wanted to do it, so it's there for you for free. Just go and grab it. Yeah, Mindy said, "Oh my God, thanks, Benon." Yeah, David, cool. And it's going to be like a beautiful thing just to have on. You could just have it on low in your room with iTunes and just have it set to repeat, because it already goes for 30 minutes. But if you repeated it, you could practically have it playing all night if you wanted to. Now, what I really want to do, and this will kind of suck because, these frogs are everywhere in the Australian, not just the forest land, the bushland, but also here in the suburbs. So when we do eventually do streaming from Stevan, I would like to go out there and try to find some of these frogs and show them to you, because they're actually quite easy to spot. In the daytime, you'll find these cackling frogs. Oddly enough, they're a tree frog. You'll find them under the bark on trees, usually about, say, about that high off the ground. They'll be sort of, if you find a gum tree near water, like near a water source, and you've heard them the night before, or you've been there early morning, you can hear them. Well, in the daytime, if you go to these gum trees, they've got those gum trees that have the flaky bark that sort of like, huntsmans live underneath there, and witchetty grubs and bark bugs. You pull that bark off, and often you'll find these cackling frogs just resting in the day because they're a nocturnal frog. So I want to go out and try to find them. Basically, I want to showcase you. Maybe you'll be on. I don't know. Maybe you'll be on a live stream or whatever. I don't know. Tim Arskog says, back up in the chat. Tim said, I like to hear the pop sound that cane toads make when you drive over them in the car. That's the only good thing about them. Now, look, that's a very, very interesting point. I do agree with you, Tim. The cane toad in this country is a problem. I want to just do something quickly. Here in the chit chat is the link to the Discord. If you want to come on for a voice call, right? If you want to come on and have a chat about this using the spoken word format, the link right there is live today. Please hit it up. I'll jump in the Discord myself right now so that I'm there. And if you do have the access to a microphone and you want to come in and have a chit chat, go right ahead. There's a little link in the Gives a Minute Discord. It's a voice channel, and it's called the Gives a Minute YT call-in line, the Gives a Minute YouTube call-in line. And I'm in there right now. I'm on there right now. So if I hear you come in, we'll go across and grab you. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to just open that up to you because I know we don't do that nearly enough. And if you want to talk about the outdoors versus the indoors, or what kind of content you want to see from Gives a Minute, there's a way to do it right here, voice style. So Tim's talking about the cane toad. Now, the cane toad in this country is not a native animal to this country, not a native amphibian. It was imported from, I think it came from part of America initially. Hawaii, that's right, it came from Hawaii. Now, what this is in Hawaii, you might know it as the cane beetle, the cane toad. Well, no, it's only called the cane toad in Australia. It's not called a cane toad in the United States or in Fiji, where they're everywhere. Benny Crawford took it already, cool. And what happened was Australia brought these things in back in, I think it was the early 50s, maybe late 50s. They brought these things in an attempt to maintain. We had this thing that was eating all of our crop, all of our cane, and these toads, this beetle, there was a beetle that was eating all of our sugarcane, and it was affecting our output, like our global output of sugarcane. So they brought these toads in thinking that because these toads were known to eat these bugs, these beetles, back in Hawaii. So the cane toads came in, they were introduced into a little section, I think they were introduced in Yeppoon up in Queensland, a little area of Queensland as a little trial. And it worked. They ate these bugs, and the sugarcane grew and grew and grew. But what nobody factored in is when you have a species of wildlife that's happily eating and there's no problem with their food supply, what do? They get down dirty and do the sex. And they did the sex, and they did the sex multiple times, and that the species of cane toad suddenly became bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And what happened was it started overtaking the native frog wildlife, eating all the native frogs. These things grow to be about this big, right? Quite a large toad. And they were preying on the local native wildlife, eating the regular frogs, small insects and bugs that they weren't supposed to eat. They were just eating anything they wanted. They were having an orgy, right? Sex and food and just population growth. And before we knew what was happening, they'd moved very far south, very far north, taken over massive population areas, and it just became an epidemic to the point where the government merely, I think it was like 7 years after the fact they introduced this thing to the country, they were giving guidance of how that you can kill cane toads, not effectively, humanely. And I remember watching a documentary as a kid. I was about 11 years of age, and there was a documentary, and it showcased dudes with golf clubs on a driving range, just banging these cane toads. And that was a government-produced documentary. And then there was a great shot. There was like a road, like a long shot with the 70 to 200 mil lens, so the compression was huge. There was a shot of this road coming out of the distance up on a hill and coming towards the lens, and there was a Volkswagen Combi van, and it was like dusk in the morning, and the Combi was doing like, instead of driving like along the road like this, it was going like this. and it was zigzagging everywhere, and you didn't know why, but as it was zigzagging, you heard what Tim heard: pop, 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 and the driver was purposely aiming to put the tire over these toads to kill them because they're that much of a problem. Now, they still are. And Tim says the toads are turning up in Northern Territory. Dude, the toads have turned up in Parramatta. Parramatta. That's massive. Like should we bring up a map of the country? Let's go back over to here and let's pull up a map. If I go back to here, we could bring up the map of Australia. Cane Toads, An Unnatural History is the doco's name. Is that the one? Tim, I've got to watch it again, man. I've got to watch that again. Oh, you know what we can do? Let's bring up that news report about cane toad. Oh, by the way, here we go. Here's Google. So if we go to Yeppoon. Shit, I hate navigating this. Okay, let's just go to Yeppoon. I believe that's where they were introduced. I don't know for a fact. Yeppoon in Queensland. I might have got that wrong. But that's where I thought they were introduced, in the coast of Australia, in that little town of far north Queensland or mid Queensland, right? Now, where they've stretched to from there, they've basically covered all... You can't see my mouse on the screen, can you? They basically covered all of the area, and they are now all the way down, sort of down here, sort of down there, approximately. Let's have a look at the Parramatta cane toad, because that was a news report not long ago. And Tim remembers the combi scene, yeah. Parramatta cane toad. I saw it on Facebook recently. There you go. Cane toad discovered in Parramatta, LGA. This is huge, folks. Look at the size of this monster. Right? Can you see why this is an issue? Look at the size of this toad. Holy shit balls. A large cane toad was found early this morning at Stevens Street Reserve in Ermington by a City of Parramatta Council bush regeneration contractor. Dude, that is gigantic. And these things are eating like pet cats, pet dogs. They're going to town. They've been running amok on this country. They've been having a laugh on our behalf, pretty much. And look at the size of it. That is gigantic. I just want to go back and check the Discord just in case I've missed someone coming over. No one's in there. Okay, cool. Yeah, Tim, so you remember that cane toad, an unnatural history, the cane toad doco. I want to check it out tonight. Tim says, I'm not calling in. That would mean having to synchronize my mouth to my brain. I'm happy to just let my grey matter wander around unhindered this morning for a while. Tim says that's a small one compared to what we have in Queensland. No, dude, that's let's go back to that. That's a big cane toad. That's a big one, dude. I don't know what you're smoking, man. That's a big one. Let's have a look at the biggest cane toad. The largest cane toad. Lisa Smart. Hello, Lisa Smart. How do you do? Good to see you. Everyone gets a cheers when they join the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. Now, I can't actually play these clips because they'll get flinged, dinged, and twinged. But it says here, the largest cane toad ever recorded on the Central Coast has been found in Hamelin Terrace. The unwelcome tourist measured a whopping 17 centimeters. So 17 centimeters is about, well, you think about a 30 centimeter ruler. That's about that long. So 17 centimeters would be about that, which is big. Has it got a picture? So the largest one ever found, Tim, we're looking at it here, 17 centimeters. Man, you get a feeling for these animals, right? There he is eating his own. Big, big, big animals. I've missed you so much lately. Well, Lisa, that's nice. You're welcome back whenever you can, you know? No dramas. No sweat. You're always welcome here on the Gives a Minute YouTube stream. Floyd Bromley. I remember seeing cars running over the toads when I was a young visitor visiting Port Douglas. Yeah, everyone kills them. You know, it's a common thing to just go for it, hit them. They're big, big, big things, right? Look at these. Big, big monstrosities. Big, big, big toads. They're quite an ugly looking toad too. I mean, I think me personally, I think they're beautiful, but it's hard to not kind of give yourself like like say, oh, these things are hideous, because they are an ugly looking toad, right? I mean, if they were beautiful looking, would we despise them that much? I recall being in Fiji on this channel on Gives a Minute. You've seen the vlogs from Fiji, right? I remember being in Fiji, and there are cane toads everywhere. I went to the Vatu Resort, which was terrible, the eco resort, my last resort of the stay, and there was cane toads everywhere. And the different mindset when you're in a place where they're not a pest. So in Australia, we'll see cane toads, and you'll be out at night having a bounty rum on the grass, and a cane toad will come running or bouncing around, and you'll just, if you're Australian, you'll flick it, you'll kick it, you'll throw something at it. In Fiji, they just bounce past you, and nobody cares, because they're not a pest in Fiji. It was very unique. I was out there cruising around with my camera with my light on. Oh, look at the cane toads! Look at the cane toads! They're not a pest here. They're cool. Everyone loves them. Hey, cane toad! I was like petting them, and yes, they are poisonous, but you got to be careful. And I'm pretty careful. I know what to do. They got a couple of poison glands behind their ears, and if you annoy them and you provoke them, they will let the poison out. That's how they kill some dogs and cats. I'm pretty careful with it though. But yeah, very, very Oh, the measurement you stated was in New South Wales. Timbo, really? Did I get that wrong? Let's go back. Largest cane toad ever found was the largest cane toad. Okay, I didn't do a New South Wales search. I just did a regular search. But did it bring up the New South Wales results? The largest on the Central Coast. Okay, cool. What is the biggest cane toad? Sorry, Tim, you're right. That was. The biggest cane toad ever found in Australia was 24 centimeters long. Okay, Timbo, I'll stand corrected. I will do this for you, Tim. This is me standing with a bad posture. And this is me standing corrected. I'll stand by my words, Tim. If you get me, which you did, I will stand corrected. So let's read this. The largest cane toad ever found in Australia was 24 centimeters long. So again, the 30 centimeter ruler, which is about that long. So we went down to 17 centimeters, which is a little bit more than half of it. So now we're going up to 24, which is about approximately there, if my estimation is good. If my calculations are correct, when these fingers hit 24 centimeters apart, you're going to see some serious cane toad. There we go. Let's see if there's an image. Lisa Smart, I lived in Queensland and they're gross. The biggest one I've been to on the Solomon Islands, and they are huge. People had them as pets to keep snakes away. Yeah, I've heard of this. I mean, that's a baby one. Look at it perched up there. It's pretty funny. Okay, so there's not an image of it, but there you go. I mean, yeah, I think they're beautiful, but they are a pest in this country, and we have to acknowledge that a pest needs to be, I was going to say catered for, needs to be accommodated, right? We need to do something about it, and they are doing something about it, and it's still an issue, still a problem, hasn't been resolved. Benny Crawford says, if someone works out a way to turn them into something useful, it'd be great. Yeah, I thought that there was some research into the toxins from the cane toad being somehow related to treatment of cancers or something. I don't know how far that went though. Tim says it's recommended not to play football with them due to the poison flying off their skin and getting in your eyes. Yeah, there you go. Tim, in Burleigh Heads, we had one that was a two-handed hold. Shit, man. Oh, Mindy said, I tried to call in, but it won't let me. It says there's no one there. Mindy, did you call in on the DLive subs call in or the Gives a Minute YouTube call in line? Because I'm on the Gives a Minute YouTube call in line. Let me show you exactly what that looks like. I think you may have gone on to the other one. You may have gone on to the DLive subs only calling, because that's for DLive, but we're on YouTube right now. I'll show you what it looks like. If we go back over to here, where are we? Go back to there. So I'm in the Gives a Minute YT call-in line. This one here, not DLive subs only call-in line. So you might have gone to the wrong one, but I've got to say you might be cutting it a little on the fine side at this point. Maybe my iPad messed up. Oh, you're on the correct one. You say, okay. Well, I'm there, and I don't see anybody. So I don't know what you've done or how it's worked or how it hasn't worked. But how about tech for you? Let's just have a chit chat anyway as we go along. Oh, you try again? Okay, no worries. Try again. Maybe my iPad messed up. I'll try again. Okay. Anything they need to Benny says, oh, Adrian's talking. Oh, Benny's talking about what people have tried to do with them, and he suggested making a road surface out of them, like a leather road surface. Anything, they need to be dealt with soon. They are heading for WA. I mean, this thing, it can survive any of the temperature changes. Like, they're down here in Sydney, right? Or in Sydney, not here, but down the coast in Sydney, it doesn't stay as warm as it does all year round. But these things are still surviving. So they're going into like a slowed heart rate position. Like, they're them. It's like they're metamorphosizing, right? They're changing their bodily requirements and slowing their heart rate down to survive through the cold winters to then prosper in the warm summers. Now, up in Queensland, we don't have those low temperatures in the summer, in the winter, so they're just living. They're in effect up in Queensland. They're just having sex all year round and breeding, and they're having a great time. But when they come further south, they've got to respect their body needs to regenerate. It's like the doctor, hey, they've got to go in regeneration mode, and they got to wait out the summer, the winter. And so they physically change their heart rate. Their heart rate slows down, and they can survive the cold winters. And then when the warmth comes back out, boom, 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 heart rate goes up, giggity, 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 and they go out having the sex, and they get bigger. The population grows further. If they head further west, which is what Benny said they're doing, into WA, they're never going to have the issue with the temperature because it's always warm in WA. Like, I lived over there in WA, definitely the northern part of the state doesn't ever get cold. So they're going to be just like, gimme food, gimme sex, gimme population change, gimme all the kinds of food I need, all the kinds of space I need, and they're off, they're off and racing. I believe a parasitic insect was found and is being tried. That's what they're trying in order to reduce them. Interesting. Yeah, Mindy, I don't see you in there too. I'm just double checking myself. Yeah, iPhone won't work either. Very interesting. Doesn't matter. We're having a good chat here. It doesn't always have to be a voice call in. But I got to say, I don't do the voice call in enough. And if you ever want to comment and say, hey man, open this up to the voice call in, I'll do that. And today was, potentially an interesting discussion about the outdoors versus the indoors. At that level of discussion where I'm at, so I'm definitely going to be buying the MacBook Pro. I've done all the reviews. Everyone says this thing it's what you need, right? This is the machine. This is the machine that I need. This is the machine that content creators need. This is the machine. Now, I've got the cash for it, like I said. I'm just going to play it safe. The end of the month is near on us, and I get paid at the end of the month. So I'm just kind of waiting just for the end of the month, because if the payments that come through are bigger than I thought, I might be able to bump up to 2 terabytes of internal. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I've got the cash for it, but I'm thinking just wait a little bit. Wait till the end of the month. And by the way, there's 3 days shipping or whatever. So by the time I bought it, I'll be able to get it together. And I predict we'll be streaming from Steve Van within the next 2 weeks. And I'm freaking excited for that. Freaking excited for it. Benny Crawford, I did not call in. Wanted to go give others a chance. That's all right, Benny. I understand, man. I understand. Oh, Tim, so Mindy has a great point. I hope those insects don't become pests too. Yeah, very good point, Mindy. Tim, is the insect a native insect? Speaking of insects, something's crawling up my neck. Is the insect a native to Australia, or they're not bringing something else in? Haven't we learned from our mistakes? We don't bring in animals from outside of another ecosystem, do we? Do we do that? I don't know. We rolled out an internet system that's second rate. So, we got a big problem with the cane toads. Let's bring in the rhino from South Africa, because that'll eat all the big cane toads. I'll try calling in on DLive tonight. Okay, Mindy. Yeah, appreciate that. I think we're going to do a relatively earlier stream on DLive tonight, but I appreciate you doing that. I've got Timbo coming over and I'm going to cook. So Tim says the trials are very intensive to make sure they won't kill native species or another introduced pest. Yeah, but Tim, they did all those tests back in the day too when they brought the cane toads in. Hey Siri, what year was the cane toad introduced into Australia?
I can't get the answer to that on HomePod.
What help are you? I can't get the answer to that on HomePod. Hey Siri, what's a cane toad? The giant neotropical toad. Native to South and mainland Central America. It says it's introduced to the Caribbean and Northern Australia, which is, hey Siri, you're behind the times. You got to update your crap. It's not just Northern Australia.
World's largest toad. It is a member of the genus Rhinella, but was formerly assigned to the genus Bufo, which includes many true toads.
It's the world's largest toad.
Throughout Central and South America.
Mindy loves the early streams. Well, that's handy. By the way, folks, I've got coming some tech that's going to allow me to have this microphone permanently set up next to my HomePod, and so when I do ask Siri a question, I can trigger a button here, and you guys will hear the response. Because right now it's like, and I know you can't hear it, and I could do that, but that's kind of lousy, right? This mic's just sitting there. All I needed was an extension cable here to plug that in. I've also got my old Behringer one channel input, which is what I'm going to use to bring the source in, and it'll just be a case of pressing a Stream Deck button and that'll activate it. This is an interesting microphone. It's one of the early Rode stereo video mics, so it actually runs off a 9-volt battery, and I've just ordered a rechargeable 9-volt battery with a little LED panel on the side, and it charges through USB, which is pretty handy. So that's how I'm going to roll out a little bit of extra tech, and I'm very careful about what tech I roll out here. Can I duplicate that on the DLive, on the IRL content? I want to be able to have this content with me on the road. So when we go live from Stevan, I want to be able to, switch cameras and go to different angles and go walking. And it's been a little bit of a process. And the big stumbling block has been the MacBook Pro not being powerful enough. Now we've resolved that, so we're good to go. I've never seen them in Mexico. I guess then, see, that's the thing. A cane toad in its natural environment doesn't prosper. A cane toad in Australia, where it's got an endless supply of food and no real threat from anything, because nobody eats them in Australia. The only threat is the human threat. There's no animal that's threatening the cane toad. So they're prospering. Like they have no. It's like a shark, right? That's top of the food chain. That's the biggest threat. A shark, top of their food chain. Cane toad, top of the food chain on the land. It's crazy. Then he says, "Good, yeah, to get the Siri activation." Floyd's got to run. No worries, Floyd. Thanks for swinging by, Floyd. How are your? I know you got to run. I was going to say how your live stream's going. You got to run. That's cool. I appreciate you sticking by, Floyd. We're about to wrap the stream up here anyway. 78 minutes works out to be an hour and 18, doesn't it? If my calculations are correct. Which they should be. I've done this that many times now to know when the actual time is. I got my little spreadsheet system, so I just copy and paste, and everything should be good. Touch wood. Yeah, see you, Floyd. Oh, and by the way, folks, 2 more weeks until Old Mate Jack. And you know what that means? It's going to be an AMA, and I'll put out the call. It's obviously not next week; it's the week after. But by the way, if you have conversation starters that you think we should talk about, be no stranger. Let me know what you think we should discuss. If you've got anything you want to talk about at all, bring it. We'll discuss it. That's what this is what these live streams are for. If you've got any conversation topics, bring it on. That said, not that other issue. The stuff that we've already dealt with. I've done with that. Let's leave that behind. But if you've got anything fresh, anything that's happened with you, anything that's happened within this creator space, the world of YouTube and DLive and all that cool stuff, please let me know. Now, I can hear my outro music rolling right about now. This has been a fun stream. I've enjoyed talking about cane toads. Thank you for all the comments. An entertaining morning. Thanks, Aero Gamer. Cheers, my friend. I'll see you guys next time. Is that right, channel only? Oh no, I can't. Oh, that's we're out of time.